Hey guys, and welcome back to Polestar Tech. In this video, we'll be talking about some Python operators. So let's get to it. First, we have arithmetic operators. The plus, the minus, and the times operators you see in the table to the side should be pretty easy to remember and execute. The single front slash that follows is division, but in Python, it is better known as float division. This simply means that Python returns a floating point result. The double front slash signifies integer division. This is very similar to the float division operator, but the difference is that it just returns an integer. We then have the exponent operator. We use a double asterisk to denote a to the power of b. And last, we have the remainder operator. This is denoted by single percent symbol. What this does is that it divides a and b and takes the remainder of that value and returns it. It's very important to keep practicing these arithmetic operators because they are very fundamental to your coding knowledge. We then have the compound assignment operators. In programming, it's very common to increment or decrement a value or a variable. This means that in some cases, you may want to increase a value by a certain number. Here, we have the plus equals operator. So let's say you have a variable x and you want to increase the value of x by 4. What you would do is type in x plus equals 4. The equivalent statement to that is x equals x plus 4. Both of these statements increases x by the value of 4, but using the plus equals operator condenses and makes your code more concise. In the minus equals operators, it takes x and subtracts 4 from it. X times equals takes x multiplied by 4, x front slash equals takes x divided by 4, x double front slash equals takes x divided by 4, only returns the integer value. X percent equals divides x and 4 and returns the remainder. And x double asterisk is basically x to the power of 4. So, up to this point, even though we have talked about data types, we haven't really thought about ways we can use this information. In arithmetic, there are two main data types, type int and type float. And there are three rules. When both operands involved in an expression are of type int, then the result will be an int. So if you take 20 and multiply it by 3, the answer will be 60, all of which are type int. When both operands involved in an expression are of type float, then the result will be a float. So if you take 4.5 and multiply that by 2.5, the answer will be 11.25, which is all of type float. Of type int, then the result will always be of type float. In such cases, the Python interpreter automatically converts the int value to float temporarily, then performs the calculation. This process is known as type conversion. So in the last expression literal that we see, 88 times 4.3, the 88 is converted to 88.0, and then the multiplication is carried out. Sometimes it is desirable to convert data from one type to a different type at our will. To handle such situations, Python provides us with the following built-in functions. First, we have the int function. This function accepts a string or number and returns a value of type int. For example, int of 2.7 returns 2, and int of 30 returns 30. Next, we have the float function, which accepts a string or a number and returns a value of type float. Float of 3.4, which is a string, returns 3.4. We then have a string str function. This function accepts any value and returns a value of type string. So str of 12 returns 12 as a string, and str of 3.4 returns 3.4 as a string. So, next we have relational operators. So to compare values, we use relational operators. Expressions containing relational operators are known as relational expressions. If the expression is true, then a bool value of true is returned. And if the expression is false, then a bool value of false is returned. Relational operators are binary operators, meaning that they only return two values, true or false. The following table lists relational operators available in Python. If the expression, the relational expression, is true, then the return value will be true. Otherwise, it will return false. Many people often get confused between the double equal sign and the single equal sign operators. Always remember that the single equal sign is an assignment operator and is used to assign a value to a variable. On the other hand, the double equal sign is an equality operator and is used to test whether two values are equal or not. Next, we have some logical operators. Logical operators are used to combine two or more Boolean expressions and test whether they are true or false. Expressions containing logical operators are known as logical expressions. The following table lists logical operators available in Python. First, we have the AND operator. The AND operator returns a bool value of true if both operands are true. Otherwise, it returns false. The OR operator returns false when both operands are false. Otherwise, it returns true. The NOT operator negates the value of the expression. In other words, if the expression is true, then the operator returns a value of false. And if the value is false, it returns true. Unlike the other two logical operators, the NOT is a unary operator, meaning that it only has one operand. So guys, that's about it for this time. Of course, there are a lot more operators out there in Python, but these operators are the ones that you will use the most and are most fundamental. As always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. This is Polestar Tech, and I'll see you in the next one.